You are live. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey. This is Dozen Cats Wellness Tarot. Kelly, be sure you go and like and subscribe, especially if you are tired of Donald Trump talk. Ain't none of that, or very, very, very little of that over there. So go get your wellness on. And it's a whole plethora of other stuff. It's not, because mind you, I put out positive messages, but people watch Trump more so than they do positive messages. But for those who need to see it, they will always see it. And Kelly has got a bunch of that over there too, and some other stuff, and some other lives, and so forth and so forth. So be sure you go and like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. She has agreed to come and gossip with me today, so that's what we're going to do here today. Kelly, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
I have to say, first of all, thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you for showing up.
There's a little bit of a funny about the invite, though, that I would love to share because I haven't even really had a chance to explain it to you. So hi to everybody. So Johnny sent me an email and said, are you interested in doing a live, or I'm thinking of doing a live next week. Are you interested in joining, or something to that effect? And then said at the bottom, it's a celebrity stream. And I was like, ooh. I was thinking a bunch of readers, together on the screen. And I answered back and I said, well, I'm no celebrity, but I'd be happy to join. And then he wrote back and shared the details of what we were doing. And I was like, that took me a minute. I'm not going to lie. It took me a minute to string that together. And I went, right. Reading on celebrities. Got it. I'm in.
Actress and recording artist, Dozen Cats Wellness Tarot is joining us today.
Wowzers.
Well, I adore a lot of people on YouTube, but they are celebrities. Y'all are, believe it or not.
In their own mind.
I don't count myself as one because that's a horrible word for me to attribute to myself. But when people see you in public, it's a different kind of energy. Because when I saw Becca for the first time, I don't know why I thought it was strange, but it was. It was like, that's the person from the computer right there.
I mean,
it's different.
In all fairness, it would be very altering. You know what I mean? Because this has become our normal for so long. I don't leave my house, so I don't really I'm not ever going to run into that problem. And just for clarification purposes only, my husband doesn't woohoo when I walk into the room. No lights go on.
Like I saw this over the weekend. I posted a picture on the thing. I went to Vegas, and shout out to Edie if she ever sees this. Fantastic person, period. But she took me to Vegas because Hogarth, she knows Hogarth. And we went and we ate and drank and laughed and was just merry. It was fantastic. So I've now met a little bit of everybody from the YouTube sphere, and it is different to see a person in public in person. So it's interesting. Yeah, I had on the suit in Las Vegas. It was 109 degrees. But believe it or not, I was not hot the whole time. I think it's not like we had a picnic outside or nothing. So we weren't outside all that much. But I wasn't hot. It was like,
no. Friends in the chat. Was Johnny hot? Mm-hmm, you were.
I was not warm. I'll say that.
Okay, you were not.
It wasn't affecting me. Like, I mentally prepared myself. I said, you're going to the devil's den. It's going to be a little warm, and you got this preacher suit on. I went there, and everything was A-okay.
Well, when I went to Las Vegas just the one time, and it was a long time ago, the heat there stayed the same from the morning till the night. But it's not the same kind of heat as what we have here. It was like a dry heat.
It's
so
different.
I didn't feel it like hot, like when it gets hot here, where you literally you feel like a soggy noodle.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like that there.
The South is the worst. Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, all that down in there. Because it's swampy heat. And you walk outside and your clothes are stuck in you, and you instantly stink. And it's like, oh my God, I can't do this. It's like you dipped me in the ass of a hippo and said, walk around and you'll be just fine for the rest of the day. And it's like, no, I'm not.
The ass of a hippo.
It's awful down there. That's where the devil's breath comes from, is Mississippi, Florida, all of that. And am I 6'2"? No, 6 feet. I wore some Trump lifts. And
I thought you said you had 6 feet. I was like, what? 6 feet?
Bogart is tall, though. Okay, so we're going to do some announcements. Do you have anything coming up that you would like to announce to everyone?
Just, I do my thing. I'm doing a 4-part series, what I'm calling a 4-part series, for lack of a better way to label it, throughout the month of September, called Turning Over a New Leaf, and you must tune in to find out what it's all about. Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Sharon Smith.
And you're back to doing lives again. And
Yes.
Beneficial Tarot, for those who do not know, go to Kelly's channel and check out their conversation. He is also back on YouTube, so shout out to him.
Oh, that's nice.
Bless his heart. I'm glad he's back, and that he has sort of a different focus on what it is that he can do and so forth. Anyway, y'all go check out the conversation. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Ben joins me every once in a blue moon. We do a tea time with Ben, because he's from Britain, and it's 2:00 p.m. on a Wednesday. I think the next one is September 18th, and we get into all sorts of trouble. You never really know what to
expect. It's cute to see them together. It's like they've known each other for 431 years. It's just watch it. Just trust me.
When you meet someone and you just have that sort of connection with, from the very first moment he ever joined me on a stream on my channel, it was just like we were like two kindergartners at recess. It was like that's
me and Jen Lynn. Like, that's my sister. She's been that way forever. I've always known her, so how I always feel. We can just sit, do nothing, nothing's going on, and just have the greatest of times. Yes, I absolutely understand. Okay, so we got today on the gossip section, Lauryn Hill, and I will explain who these people are for those who do not know, especially Kelly, because you may not have heard of half the people.
I know who Lauryn Hill is. I was just watching her video today, actually, when she was in Sister Act 2. I was just watching that whole little...
So a whole bunch has changed.
Song. No, but I mean, it's funny that you should say, as our first person to talk about, I literally just watched that video like half an hour ago.
His eyes are on the sparrow, but not on the time clock, because she is always late to her concerts and is blaming people for it. And so we'll go into her. Miley and Billy Ray Cyrus have a fractured relationship, so we will look into that too.
Sorry, Johnny, may I interrupt you? Sorry, I apologize. My second interruption in less than a minute, so I'm on a roll. Keith Urban apparently has made some derogatory remark against Miley Cyrus. So it's being reported, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, that he said that her voice is, it sounds like an ashtray. And I was like, ouch.
Okay. Supporting his buddy. Okay.
Yep.
Simone Biles and her mother, we'll get into that too.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan was going to have a biopic, however you say it. And that has been canceled, at least for right now. So I just want to see about his career going forward. Steve Vandervelde, that was the Olympic guy. I think he does volleyball or hockey ball or somebody ball. But back in the day, he was arrested for all of 9 minutes for raping a child. And I think he was 17 and the child was 12 or 13 or something like that. And people said he should be banished from society. But he was able to go to the Olympics. And when he won, whatever it is that he won, people, threw the tomatoes and the oranges because how dare you show up in public after what you've done, and didn't pay for it because, again, he only stayed in jail a hot minute. And then he cried because people didn't like him. So I want to look at that guy too. Sean Diddy Daddy Combs has got a new accuser, so we'll look at that. Armie Hammer, we'll look at his future. He has been sort of blackballed, he said, from Hollywood because of the cannibalism stories that came out. Ben and JLo have filed for divorce. I actually want to look a little differently at this in particular. I have a twin flames question because I feel like that's what they are, because they break up, get back together, great. So they have some sort of weird karmic connection, I think. Mariah Carey and Morgan Carey. Morgan Carey is her brother, and Mariah Carey recently lost her mother and her sister in the same day, but her brother has sued her before, and so they don't have a really good relationship either. So I want to look at that. And finally, Ice Cube. I want to know, why is he suppressing the black vote? Because he's right now on camera telling black people not to vote because it doesn't matter. And so I want to look at that too. So we'll start with Lauryn Hill. And the way I want to do it is we'll answer the question with the card, and then we'll pull an oracle and ask for some sort of advice from the oracle card for that person.
Because we know they're listening.
Yes, they are. Believe it or not, I've had, oddly enough, there are a couple of people, and they have shared my video with the celebrity I read on, and then one person answered me back saying thank you for the reading.
Wow.
They were being sued by the FDA.
Oh,
and so sometimes they see. So Lauryn Hill has counseled.
Have you met famous people before?
A couple of times, but
like legit celebrities.
Yes, but they were all like sport players. I don't really watch sports. I was told after the fact who they were. But people are people to me. So anyway.
Well, that's what we all say. We all say like everybody puts their pants on, one leg at a time, and blah blah blah. I was 18 years old, and my father and mother were separated. We're not officially divorced yet, even though my father had a girlfriend. It's a whole other story. We'll put that aside. He decided to go to California with his new girlfriend and decided to invite us. Now, what 18-year-old girl does not want to go to California, right? Okay, we're talking 1984, I think. Yes, I just aged myself. And there we are, driving through the streets of California in a rented camper van that we picked up that we were driving home. And we pulled into a parking lot trying to decide what we were going to do that day. And got out, we stretched our legs, and I'm not sure who it was that looked over and said, like, what is all the commotion going on over there? Anyways, it turned out to be the American Music Video Awards happening there at the Santa Monica Theater. And so we're like, we are not leaving, is what we're doing. We lined up across the red carpet. There was no one else there, just me and my sister and my dad and his girlfriend and the security guard, who happened to be from Windsor, Ontario, fellow Canadian, manning the door. I met everybody who is anybody at that time. David Lee Roth, that's not a joke. I have pictures to prove it. John Stamos, Valerie Bertinelli, Eddie Van Halen, Lisa Hartman, Weird Al Yankovic. Yep, I said that. What's his name? Grace Jones. Cyndi Lauper, James Brown, lady who sang Gloria, I can't remember her name, but she was there. It just Laura Branigan, that was it. Was absolutely phenomenal. Like, blew my mind. I was 18. Can you imagine? Like, I never stopped writing about it in my diary. Do you know what I mean? When I came home, I was like, oh my God, the greatest experience of my life.
You know what's odd is I've met more porn stars than I have really regular fans.
Confessions with Johnny and Kelly. No.
Well, for whatever reason, there's a huge concentration of them in the Woodlands, Texas. So I'll just say that.
Wow.
One of them worked at the grocery store I worked at.
Really?
Yes.
So when we had that amazing experience, what happened was the security guard let us in, and it was a live taping, which is different than like a recorded taping in Hollywood. I mean, I don't do Hollywood, so I don't know. But anyway, we went in there, we watched a little bit, then we had to leave. And then as we were leaving, we noticed that all the people were walking through the parking lot, and they were going across the street to this thing called a pizza bowl kind of place, which I thought was not really a real thing because we don't have those here in Canada. But anyways, they had one there, and that's where they went for their after party. And the security guard was back at the door at the pizza place. And there we were, typical tourists with big cameras outside the window, taking all the pictures. Anyways, he let us in. My dad has a picture of him and David Lee Roth, arm in arm. David Lee Roth was wearing his gold Just a Gigolo jacket. My sister and I were on the bowling alley floor, knelt down, taking a picture with Billy Huffsey and Nia Peoples and the young man, I don't remember the actor's name, who played Jesse on Fame. I mean, I got a kiss from John Stamos. I mean, honestly, my friends hated me so much when I came home because I never stopped talking about it. And that's
for now.
That's my famous people story.
So Lauryn Hill has, in the past, mind you, she has like one album, but for whatever reason, she's still one of the most popular people on the planet when it comes to drawing a crowd. Mm-hmm. But she is famously late. The one story I've heard, and it's been repeated 1,000 times, she showed up 4 hours late to one of her concerts and told the people in no uncertain terms that if you didn't like it, you can go get your money back, number one. But you have to understand how these things work because she needed to align her chakras before she came to the stage, which, okay, energy is energy, but it shouldn't take you 4 hours, ma'am. You got some work to do.
Doing it wrong.
Okay? Like I need you to go to YouTube and do the chakra alignment in 30 minutes. Like everybody got these recipes that take 30 minutes to make. I need you to get the hot pocket version of chakra alignment. Okay. So her US tour, she's got a US and a UK tour, I think. The US tour, all of those dates have been canceled. And she says she's blaming negative headlines. She didn't say what kind of negative headlines. She says she's blaming negative headlines because her show has been sabotaged because all the tickets aren't selling. So she canceled the US leg of her tour. What I want to know, because again, she does not say why. Why is her show? Why is her shows being not undersold? Why is her tickets not selling here in the US? And then what kind of advice would we give her with the Oracle card? She said it's sabotage.
I'm in Ontario. Do you think she suffers from or is experiencing some sort of like stage frighty kind of?
I don't know.
You tell me what your cards say. I don't know why. I just sort of picked that up. I think there's some kind of like.
She's like beloved still. I mean, not that means no, but.
Well, because like even Adele has said that she suffers from horrible stage fright, right?
Yeah.
I got the Four Swords. followed by the Two of Cups, followed by the Six of Wands. So I honestly feel like it's like this is like becoming like each time becomes more difficult, and that's why she's like trying to align herself. I think maybe she's had like some kind of bad experience and she could have like social anxiety or something of that nature. I've got the Ten of Cups on the bottom of the deck, so the appreciation and the love, she feels it, but something is like sort of stopping her. What? What'd you get? What'd you get?
Yeah. She's got some sort of Ace of Cups. She's got a spiritual issue of some sort. That's also popping up here too. But her audience here too with the World card, there is a problem there. So she could have some sort of stage fright. There's an audience problem here with the Lovers card too, but they're still with her.
Mm-hmm.
But mind you, again, her numbers are not growing. And you can only say a bad thing about a person so long and so often until people believe it. And there's proof that you're an hour late here, 2 hours late there, 4 hours late there. This is not one story. It's many stories. Right. Advice, though, there's some sort of spiritual thing with that you need to align, that you need to fix, and it's not energetic. She may not be following her true purpose as well. I know she's a felon because she didn't pay her taxes, not because she went and did a drug run somewhere. But she may be having some sort of dedication to money that she should not have because she's leaving behind a connection that she's supposed to have. So she is sort of valuing one thing over the other. She is at a crossroads of some sort with the Two of Swords, and she needs to make better decisions than what she's making now. And you need to go back into your place of prayer and practice. That's what I got.
Look at the card I got.
Mm.
That feels to me like you know when you're going so fast that you don't stop to see, you know, the forest for the trees, to recognize the issue. It's sort of like the mentality, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm, you know, because like I'm Lauryn Hill, so I'm just going to keep doing what I do. Mm-hmm. Not really paying attention to the fact that people are starting to be like we're glad that you're Lauryn Hill. We love Lauryn Hill, but like this is not cool.
Mm-hmm. But girl, get it together.
Like slow down.
Chakra alignment, 4 hour chakra alignment. This must be one hell of a chakra alignment.
How many chakras did she have?
4 hours worth. Billy Ray Cyrus he was on recording having a meltdown apparently because his wife or soon to be ex-wife recorded him. Now in that one instance, because he's being labeled as, you know, verbally abusive because he was cursing at her and all these type of things. And I can see his side though, because of the way she was responding to him. His lawyer said, well, she was on her best behavior for her recording, which you would be because you're doing the recording part. But you can tell how she keeps poking and trying to make him say more things. And he was repeating, if you would have just left me alone, that type of thing. But he's had this episode before many times over, and maybe he just found the one that keeps pushing his buttons and all that. And the rumor has it that he called his daughter a demon. And then his daughter has put out a statement too, basically saying that, you know, I wish him well, but I have nothing to do with him type thing. So will they ever reconcile? Maybe not will. Can they? Yes. Will they? And say, well, I'll say, will they? Will they ever reconcile? And
It's
then
just,
maybe a card for advice.
so unnecessary, like,
Mhm.
why? I mean, I'm just saying, like, I realize that in certain situations, having a recording could be very handy, right? But that sounds like that's like I'm recording you so that I've got like a something in my pocket to pull out if I need to take you to court.
Addictive.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, it feels kind of slimy. But I don't know. I'm not there.
What'd you get?
I got the 10 of cups in reverse. That was that like flew out. So yep. I've got, sorry, I can't even hold on to my cards. We've got the Knight of Swords next to that, 7 of Wands, and the King of Swords. I don't know what birth sign Billy Ray Cyrus is. He definitely strikes me as a type of individual who thinks that his star shines brighter than maybe it does. Is a polite way to say it, I think. And I've got the death card on the bottom of the deck. So I think that I'm not sure how to express this. It's now that this has been outed or exposed, he's not like upset, like I'll have to change my ways, but he's upset that it came out and now he has to like defend himself in some form or fashion. And I don't think that that's going to work. I don't think anybody's buying what he's selling.
Me neither. I think he's got a history. The World card is a card of completion and success, but it also speaks about all the lessons that you have supposed to have learned by this time. But there's 2 women here, and there's a relationship as well. He's got a history with this type of thing. He and his daughter is not the only. I think personally that he may have, the Empress isn't here, but I'm going to say there's like a mother issue because, thank you, the alignment keys. I don't think he has a relationship with women that's healthy ever. Whether it's secretaries, hairdressers, makeup artists, his daughter, his wives, he just has a very weird outlook. It has something to do with Page of Pentacles' childhood, though. So it goes back a little bit of a ways. Can they reconcile? See, there's a power struggle, controlling, demanding, rigid. Like, he has an issue. I think I'm putting it on him. He has an issue with women, and I think he sabotages his own relationships.
It feels like one step above like being a narcissist. It's like I have to be right all the time, and I will make it so I am. You know what I mean? Like that kind of like I don't know what the technical label, name, whatever.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
It just
the Ray Cyrus syndrome.
I don't know. It's just I sometimes when I can't think of the word, and it's like I just sort of see him going like this all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Bless his heart. Okay. Simone Biles, who has been making history left, right, sideways, and across, greatest gymnast in the world type thing. She is off living her absolute best life, and I'm happy for her. Her mother, who apparently gave her up for adoption a long time ago, she has been hitting the blogs and the newspapers and the this and the that, saying how she's struggling, and she would accept help from Simone if she were to offer it. She wants to have a relationship with her now, and so forth and so forth and so forth. There is something to be said for redemption. Her mother was an addict, and so now she is supposed to be she's in recovery. There is no, as they teach you in Drug Anonymous and AA, that you're never really cured. You just have to keep fighting, and so forth and so on. So she is still on her road to recovery. And my problem is she has been trying to contact Simone. Simone won't talk to her, is what she said. Why are you going to the media with this? Especially right now. The child just dominated at the Olympics, and then here you go. Yeah. Like, it looks shady to me. I understand that you're trying to reach out to her, but reach out to her, not In Touch magazine.
Yeah.
But anyway, no judgment, neutral filter. Will they reconcile their relationship? You know, I just don't feel like I'm going to be very neutral right now.
Well, you know what it feels like to me, and I'm not trying to trying to be quiet in my head, but I can't. Like, as soon as you said it, I'm like, that's Meghan Markle's family.
You know, like, now you want to come out the woodworks for what? What do you want?
These kinds of family matters, and I'm just going to say this, right? I hope that whether you agree with me or whether you don't agree with me, that you can at least see where I'm coming from. This is just my opinion as a child who went through divorce, parents that never let it go. My parents were separated when I was 17. It went, meaning my dad was there. He came, he left, he came, he left for over a year and a half. And then they were divorced. They were both married to other people for longer than they were married to each other. Until their dying days, they just would not stop with the picking and choosing and fighting and pitting again. Like, it was so unnecessary and caused so much emotional drama to everyone who tried to just be around them. So if we think back to Leanne Rimes, right, one of the greatest voices, right, out there, she had an affair when she was married. And literally, it ruined her career. Whether that's right or whether that's wrong, not really the point. The point is, why? Why her and not other people that have done the same type of thing, right? Meghan Markle, right? All of a sudden, her family comes out of the woodwork and the world hates her. Simone Biles, beautiful, beautiful young lady. Her mom comes out. It just, like, it's, get that stuff out of the, like, why are we talking about this? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's gross. The news. I mean, not us. I mean, the news. Well, I mean, even like Alec Baldwin, when that famous phone call recording came out that he made to his daughter. His daughter's name is what? Ireland, I think. And I mean, people have never forgiven him for it. I'm not saying he deserves to be. I'm not saying he deserves to be forgiven, but I'm saying, like, that's family business, you know? Well, that was useless. That card. Go ahead, Johnny. Don't keep us in suspense. What do you got?
I don't think I mean, I won't say I don't think so. Here's the thing, too. The glimpse that we have into this situation is that her mother is reaching out via the public, via the Hollywood interwebs, because she's being shut down right now. But this is not the first time that she tried to contact Simone. And here's the thing. Just because a person is blood does not mean you need to be connected to that person forever and ever and ever. You do not, I don't care who you are, get to mistreat me, period.
Oh.
And I don't care what the relationship is, period. You do not have permission to mistreat me. Here you have the Knight of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Judgment, and the Hierophant. This has happened too many times for Simone. You get to burn me once, okay? Burn me twice, 3 times, 4 times, 88 times. When do I stop saying, okay, do it again?
Yeah.
So here with the Knight of Swords, there's some erratic behavior. On whose part? Guess who? So it's like, this is not something, but this older person here, this sort of my way of doing things, this is not where you want to go constantly, over and over and over again. But it has happened. The Five of Cups is a card of loss, grief, and regret. Why? Because of the Judgment, something that cycles over and over and over again. The Eight of Cups, you walk away from it, and the Star, you find, this is not Temperance. Temperance is reconciliation. The Star is you go forward and you find your peace. Simone Biles is at peace. Her mother obviously is not. The Oracle card was go have a good time. Go enjoy. Mind you, she's not just talented to where she fell into something like some recording contract. She has worked for where she is.
Absolutely.
Go enjoy it. This is your time to shine. Go and enjoy it. You hurt yourself at the Olympics and still put on a fantastic show. Go do your thing. Now is your time. Don't worry about this stuff in the past because she's been there before. We may not have seen all the times her mother or birth mother disappointed her, but they're there.
Yeah. I got the Eight of Swords to start with. So, like as soon as I see this card, to me, I know that there is like a lifelong journey of trauma, right? She has all kinds of self-confidence issues. I'm sort of getting from that card being out first. Trust issues. What adoptive child doesn't want to build that connection? Doesn't matter whether you're, famous or you're not. You would have to work through a whole lot of stuff to get to the point where you were like, okay. And that's a private thing, I would think, right? Then to have your person, your mom, your dad, or whoever, blasted all over the news. I feel like it's causing her to retreat. Like she's going back within. Got the Knight of Swords right after the Eight of Swords. Then I've got the Devil. Then I've got the Two of Swords. So like total struggle, like unnecessarily, right? So it's like the Olympics are like a distant memory, like it happened 5 years ago instead of like just, last month kind of thing. And that's the unfortunate part. Like I sort of have a bad taste in my mouth just saying it. Got the Knight of Wands. She wants to just do her own thing, like you were saying, right? I think she's going to ultimately walk away because it's like, if you're forcing me to make a decision that I'm not ready to make, you're probably not going to like what I'm going to say. We got the Justice card on the bottom of the deck, so.
Me too.
And then I pulled one Oracle card from the Prism Oracle, and I got Consciousness. So she is, doing literally mental gymnastics, trying to sort through a lifetime of these emotions that she has probably, packaged up in pretty little boxes and put awesome bows on them.
And it's worse too when you try to move on, but somebody won't leave you alone.
Yeah. And we all know that. We've all experienced a form of that, right? Where we have dealt with something and tried to put it where it needed to go and move forward. And then, someone kind of comes going, hey, don't forget about me. It's called Facebook. No, I'm joking. You know, for the 3 people that say hello to you that you're like, oh my God, we haven't talked since grade 2. There's that one lurking in the background going, and don't forget about me.
Well, Hulk Hogan, for those who do not know, I don't know how you don't know, but for those who do not know, that was an American wrestler, professional wrestler, as they call it. It's not real wrestling, but you know what I mean. Professional wrestler. He was also an actor. According to him, he was a musician, but he was not. He, and I say this, and it's true, lies more than Donald Trump. I say it every time because it has always been true. Everything, including the name Hulk Hogan, is a lie. He does nothing but lie his whole life. Now, mind you, the times he tells the truth always kind of gets him into trouble, just kind of like Donald Trump. When he told his daughter that, you know, she didn't want him dating the N-word, and when he went to some sort of rally, he said it was the beers talking. He said that do you want me to body slam Kamala Harris? Now, mind you, everybody's making the equivalency, but it's not exactly the same. Well, kind of is. To where Kathy Griffin held up the fake head of Donald Trump, and then Donald Trump put her on the Interpol list because you were threatening the president. But that's not happening to Hulk Hogan. He was supposed to be joking. He said it was the beers. And he's trying to, you know, rev up the crowd, that type of thing. So with all of that being said, too, they were going to do some sort of story about his life. And that has now sort of been put on the back burner, maybe not all the way canceled. So I want to look into the future alliance, if you will, not to go completely political, but the future alliance of Hulk Hogan and the Republican political party. Will they continue to do business together? Because he has made a fool of himself, but they all do. So they can't get celebrities, just like they keep bringing out Kid Rock. And so that whole guy. So it's, will he continue to be aligned? Because they don't really have very many people. And then
I have a question. I mean, is it an actual alliance, or is it just, you know, for
he's all they have? I mean, when you need celebrities, you look down in the bottom of your purse and see what crumbs you can pull out. And that's what they do.
Do you see what Spiritual Sean said? Let me save you the cards. No.
But that's all they have. Who else are they going to get? Mind you, when they tried to get people that I knew, the Community, Chrisette Michele, one of my favorite singers, Jennifer Holliday, legendary singer, as they say. The Community's swarmed with the middle fingers and the curse words and says, how dare you? They ended Chrisette Michele's whole career. She had a recording contract and the whole thing, and it all went away. Jennifer Holliday pulled out because she thought in her mind, and I can believe it when she said it, she has performed for a bunch of presidents. She just thought this was just going to be another one. She performed for Bush. She performed for Reagan or Nixon. So it's like, she just thought, you know, I'm just performing for the president. They were like, no, not this one. So Hulk Hogan, though, he is Christian. And he tells everybody, he was on the TBN network talking some stories and stuff about how God leads him and directs him.
Mm-hmm.
He has a store down south with an anti-vaxxer who is one of those people. The man that runs the store is one of those people who says the government is just trying to control you with their vaccine and track you and see what you're doing. And the masks have disease in them and you shouldn't put them on your face.
I seen today that I think is appropriate to add at this point that you make, and that is this. You know, Donald Trump runs around saying, you know, it's a witch hunt. You you know, the government is corrupt. It's, you know, they're weaponizing the justice system against me, blah, 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 blah. However, he is the only person who isn't actually in jail. He is the only person who I mean, who gets convicted 6 months ago and is still walking free.
Mm-hmm.
Who does
Blue
that?
collar crimes, white collar crimes, or whatever you call them. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Yes, absolutely. Spiritual Sean says he is literally the embodiment of for entertainment purposes only. Yes.
He's a character. He's always been. He doesn't have an identity whatsoever, which is what happens when you play the same character for 80 years.
Yeah.
He's been Hulk Hogan his whole life.
This is so bizarre. You oh, I love it. Okay, I've got the Sun card, which surprise, because I didn't see that coming. You know what? I actually kind of feel bad right at this minute. I kind of feel bad. No, I do. I kind of feel bad because I kind of feel like he actually believes what they're selling him.
Well, yeah.
Like, you know, hi, my name's Gullible. Nice to meet you. Like, that's how I feel. Now I feel bad. Right? And then we've got the High Priestess. And then we've got the Three of Swords. It's like, he's like, you know, oh no, hot dog. This is not good. This isn't what you told me was going to happen. There he is making all kinds of plans. He's making plans for his future. He's like, ooh, I'm going to be part of the administration. The Oracle card I pulled is movement. I really think it should be freedom. Like, you know, spread your wings, like fly away. Fly away. Get, like, run. Run, Johnny, run. Yep. Go.
Because if you just pay attention,
well, there's
Donald Trump is a vortex of disaster. The closer you get, the more he sucks you in, and then you go down and he eats your energy and your soul, and that's how he's lived for so long. He is not being sustained by Cheetos and Diet Coke. He is eating the energy of the people around him. Ace of Swords, that's a confirmation. That's a yes. That he will continue to be around this party, because why wouldn't he? He has now told us who he was. I mean, he's always done that for people who've paid attention, but we see him. That's who you are. He's not going to be a Democrat tomorrow. You can't come back from that. But they don't really want him. They want his attention. And they think, for some odd reason, mind you, that's all they can get, that he's still a big star. He is a well-known personality in the world of wrestling. He is not a big star, though. The Rock, maybe. Terry Boego, whatever his name is, Hulk Hogan, no. He is a used to be. He is a has-been. But, mind you, some of them still like him. But they're not really on his side. And he will have his feelings hurt because he thinks, like Kelly said, that they like him.
Yeah.
And then you learn that, oh, they're using me. But at the same time, he likes attention. So he'll let them do it again.
Yeah.
And again. And again. And so there's the Four of Wands final card. Yes, he will still be within that party doing whatever it is that he can possibly do, just like Dead Rock. And then your Oracle card, prepared, planning, careful, organized. Make sure that you are prepared for what happens next, because it should not be unexpected. And this is my whole problem. I'm not going to talk politics. This is my whole problem, though, with all them people. The vortex is constantly sucking everybody in and destroying every single fiber of their being, and you see it, and you still go there anyway.
Yeah. JR said, when you're used to being treated like you're special, average treatment feels terrible. And that's exactly like how I feel when I see those cards. It's like he can't help himself, right? He just wants it to be like it used to be.
Mm-hmm. I am going to go to Armie Hammer. Okay. Armie Hammer is an actor.
Okay.
And The company Arm and Hammer, there is a connection, but not directly. Arm and Hammer was a company long before the man who bought it eventually. The man who bought it was named Armand, Armand, Armand Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought the company Arm and Hammer. Arm and Hammer was a company separate from him. He was some real estate oil tycoon type of guy. And he bought the company Arm and Hammer, who makes all the stuff we know today. And Armie Hammer, who is the actor, is a descendant from all that, but he is not a beneficiary of all of that. So he doesn't have the money from this family.
Got it.
But he's got the very strange name. Well, I shouldn't say strange name, but he's got the name from all that. He had a girlfriend and they had a very tumultuous relationship and a breakdown. And there were text messages about cannibalism, how he likes to eat people and all that. He said, oh, that's not true. But it was circulated enough to where it made a significant impact upon his career. He said he bought this fancy special truck. He said if he could marry the truck, he would. It was like his favorite truck in the whole world. Like, he's bigging it up, saying it's the greatest truck that's ever been created. But he can't afford to keep the gas in it, so he had to sell it. So apparently his career is going way downhill, but he lives in some tropical location some parts of the year. If you can live in 2 parts of the year, you ain't doing that bad, okay? But he lives in some tropical location, but he had to sell his truck, and his career is suffering, so he says. Will his career ever pick back up, get back on track? And then what kind of advice can the Oracle give him?
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes, Feisty Darrow. Yes.
Totally.
He loved that truck because he's basically trying to illustrate how sad it was that the rumors have destroyed his life because he loved that truck and he had to give it up.
What do you think, Quince? Okay. Quincy has decided that he needs my full attention, so he's now come to sit, and he's literally right in the middle of the table, as it were.
I'm going to take this card. It flipped out and I put it back in, but I'm going to get it now because it makes sense.
One time when I was on the live with Johnny and my cat Quincy decided to grace me with his presence. Johnny was doing a reading. He was like full mid-read, right? And the cat went behind me between my back and the chair. And all of a sudden, all you see is me go whoop like that because the cat grabbed a hold of my ponytail and like yanked me backwards.
It's like I'm doing one of these, and all you see is.
And Johnny just kept on reading. I realized that's probably not a shock for you guys. You gave a little giggle and you just kept right on going. I was so impressed with your professionalism.
It's like Kelly, you got a cat in your hair.
Yeah.
Got a little something right there.
I'll be right back. No.
Oh, the memories.
Right? The good times. Mm-hmm. Oh, these aren't cards only. What was the question?
Will his career pick back up?
Oh, I thought it was should he marry the truck?
Well, does it say so? It's gone now. He sold it to the highest bidder.
Well, that's what's on the bottom of the deck.
Oh, mercy.
Yeah, no, I don't see that happening. I've got the 5 of Pentacles, followed by the 4 of Swords, followed by the 2 Wands. I feel like when he's on in that other location that you spoke of, that there's some other kind of life that we think that we're having over there. Like it's, you know what I mean? It's like we're not quite in real time. There is a time difference happening. I feel like he's a little bit delusional. And I don't know actually how not to say that. We've got the devil on the bottom of the deck. And below the devil is the world card. And below that is the 10 of Wands. So you better be checking, the job applications and
I mean,
the local community, because it sounds like you're going to be having a shift.
California, he lives there too. McDonald's pay $20 an hour, sir. I mean, listen, it's a job. It's a paycheck. You ain't got one now, so what's going to hurt you? These are the cards that flew out. The Nine of Cups, which is stuff. This is your riches and desires and all the stuff that you want. Very opulent lifestyle and so forth. And so I get it that when you get a taste of that, you don't want to go back. And when you got this fancy truck and it's got all the bells and whistles and it's got wonderful tires and it's got big boobs and the whole thing, and you just love the whole thing, and it's like, oh my God, the greatest truck ever. You had to sell it because you ain't got no money.
Right. This
whole thing is supposed to be a lesson.
Yeah.
That you are coveting the wrong thing. The Nine of Cups is wishes and desires. And then when you get them, what do? You worship your stuff instead of the divine that gave it to you in the first place, or the opportunity that gave it to you in the first place. You do not appreciate anything until you start to lose it, which is what's happening to him now. The major change with the death card and the separation of everybody you knew, you're losing everything and everyone. This is supposed to be the lesson. Remember Job in the Bible, who everything was leaving him to? You have to learn how to come back to center and realize what's actually important in life. Sometimes, as the song says, the ground and your feet are all you really need. You don't need all this other stuff. And so he's got some realignment to do. For your career, though, I get the Five of Swords, which is defeat, and 10 of Wands and the 8 of Wands. And so all the conversations that have been had are going to be your burden for a very long time. It's not just rumors that ended your career. Your career ended because you coveted the wrong thing.
I pulled one oracle card, and I've got fearful bad dreams. And, just how we can manifest good things and positive things, I feel like we can also do that for negative things. We put that out in the universe, and that's what's going to happen. And it's like this person did not fully appreciate his good fortune, and sort of laughed at it and sort of made fun of it, sort of thinking like easy come easy go, I'm invincible kind of thing. Too worried about impressing others, like driving the big truck around, rather than just getting from point A to point B, right?
I pulled, go find something else to do. You need new friends, new hobbies. You need a new life. The old one that's not yours. Go find a whole new life. Go be Armie Hammer somewhere else. Go spiritual retreat. Something, anything other than this. Hollywood's just, it ate you up. So there's that. Okay. Ben and JLo, what the hell's going on? So rumor has it that Ben Affleck is not happy because Jennifer Lopez's lifestyle is not conducive to him and his sobriety. That was one of the rumors. I think because who she is. I think all in all, they are constantly drawn to each other, but they constantly repel. That sounds very twin flamish to me, to where you find that person who has the other half of you, but you're not supposed to be together. But you can't stay away either. And then you keep bouncing back and forth, one run, one chases. And so I want to know, though, what is going on with the two of them? Why do they constantly get back together and then break up? Get back together and then break up? Because they got married. Like, we didn't have to go that far.
Yeah.
So what is going on there? What is the root cause? They just can't stay away from each other, or what?
I want to say that I did a reading on this a while back, like a couple of months ago, when the rumors were first sort of swirling around. Then I got that they were going to get divorced, but like there is a genuine connection between them. So I'm interested to see what you get. And I'm going to throw like little love cards. I'm not going to throw tarot cards because I've already done that. Really, but I've got this little deck of fun little love cards. So let's see what I get. I think that she does drink, JR, but I don't think that she drinks a lot.
With somebody who's fighting alcoholism, you don't need to be around it at all, I think was, I guess, his point. But at the same time,
I mean, how much of a party atmosphere is it when she has, young children? I mean, I don't know. It just,
mind you, that was a rumor.
Yeah.
So it could be, they have a whole host of things that they probably shouldn't be together, period.
Right.
What is going on there?
Oh my goodness.
King of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. Okay. I don't want to say this. I'm going to say it this way. They shouldn't be together. Period. Not in a relationship like that, but they shouldn't be in the same vicinity because for whatever reason, they keep getting drawn to each other, but they shouldn't be together. The King of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and then there's your Nine of Swords. There's always some sort of anxiety or anxiousness in the back of that, some sort of worry. There's a power play here too. I think he's very weak for her when it comes to that type of thing. The Emperor, just like Caesar and anybody else, is always undone by the Empress. You can either be picked up and elevated by the Empress, or it can be undone very easily. And that's where his weakness lies. And so she's not healthy for him. And then she can't be without a man for more than 16 minutes. And so she has an issue that she needs to deal with too, because she goes through a lot of relationships just like all the rest of them out there. But she's searching for something she can't find, is basically what it is. And then he gets with her and then loses all control of who he actually is. Be content to be by yourself, both of them, for the moment, at least for her. I think he can a lot better than she can. Be content to be by yourself. Enjoy your own company. If your company is not good enough, then fix who you are. What you think?
We started with the butterfly, and it says that healing the inner child and growth. I think the inner child is key to what you were just saying. With reference to why she keeps going over and over the same sort of pattern, for entertainment purposes only. We've got the hammer and sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, rebellion, working on it. So it's very much this ping pong, like back and forth, on, off. There's something about that excites them, which is just sounds like some therapy is required. Anyways, we have the runner next. And the runner says, runner is a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy and listening to the ego. And then, how funny is that card that we just got is the camera. Reminiscing, perception, learn from the past. So, just because your heart wants something doesn't mean it's right for you. It's kind of what I want to say. And I do agree with you. There's a bit of a twin flamey kind of like, that's how it feels. Although my cards aren't saying that, but that's when I look at them, when I read on them, that's the vibe I get. There is something that is below the surface that we can't really kind of tap into, that makes them keep coming back. There is a true connection there that just doesn't work in everyday life, unfortunately.
There's a song called Run Boy Run, and then he made a movie called Gone Girl. I need y'all both to take the advice. Okay. Mariah Carey and Morgan Carey. Is Morgan Carey as Mariah Carey's brother. Mariah Carey had a up and down relationship with her whole family. Well, those three. Her sister, who passed away, and her mother, she also had kind of rocky relationship. Her mother and her sort of reconciled a little bit, but they had an up and down one too. Her mother was an opera singer. I guess is where she gets her pipes from. Her sister, she has been financially supporting her sister for a very long time, basically her whole career. So her sister had HIV, and so she was paying for her care and things like that. Because her sister made a video one time when Mariah stopped paying for stuff. And so she made a video and put it out there telling her, don't cut me off now type of thing. Mariah Carey wrote a song about her sister too called Close My Eyes. If you want to listen to that, the lyrics will tell you sort of how she viewed everything there. And I think she wrote a book, and her brother then sued her because of the stories and things of that nature too, if I'm not mistaken. But he sued her for something. So now that the mother and the brother, not the brother, and the sister have passed, will there be a reconciliation of any kind between her and the brother? Because things can either get worse or they can come into perspective.
So sad, isn't it? I mean, like, it's just so unnecessary.
It's to me, because he made a video about her too, and threw all the dirt out there and all. It felt very Simone Biles to me too, to where, why are you doing that?
Yeah. Hi, Lady Silver. It just feels really unnecessary for anyone to go to those kinds of lengths to, like, air your dirty laundry. You know what I mean? And I get being that angry. I get being that mad at somebody, that hurt. But is there no moment that makes you sort of stop and think, like, what is the expected outcome here? Like, what do I hope to achieve by this? Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like you went and told your friend at school.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh crap, I need to tell them to make sure not to tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little different. You know what I mean? When you call up, like, the national tell everybody newspaper, and I mean, but hey, I hear they pay good money for stories, so
All I wanted to do.
Do they still do that? Do you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, they do. I don't. Okay. I get yes. However, it's very, very ugly first. The first card is the devil. And the oracle card is narcissism and pride. There's a lot of identity struggle. Mariah Carey's the star, and they know her. They don't know him. But he is in a better position to pull her down than she is to shoo him away. Because he can come out and do all of the stories, whether they're true or not, doesn't even matter. Because people gravitate to mess. Mm-hmm. That's all they want, is just a mess. And right now is even easier to kick her because she's the famous one. And then her mother and sister passed on the same day. And then here you come with some other ugly stories. And so then she gets to look like the villain. But here with the King of Wands, that's going to be his role, I think. Because you got the Five of Wands, which is fighting and conflict. Yeah. Then the Magician, which is manipulation, and the Three of Pentacles, he's going to do interviews or collab with somebody to make it all nasty.
Yeah.
It ends in the temperance. Temperance, as I said earlier, is a reconciliation. This, however, is like this is the card of sobriety too. And the reason I mention it is because sobriety takes a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just get fixed overnight when you have some sort of attachment to something that's unhealthy. And so this is going to be one of those things. Maybe it doesn't have to be forever. It could be 3 years from now, but it's still going to take time, because this part gets ugly first, with your King of Wands, your Devil, you're fighting, and then eventually there's a reconciliation. Yeah. But it takes a while.
I get the distinct impression that from the cards that I have is that it's just like, just make it stop. Just make it stop. Like it's going like this, and you're just like, okay, just turn off the switch. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how we feel, actually, but it's like, just make it go away, because I don't want to deal with it, because it like ruins my whole vibe, right? I feel like Mariah Carey is just, she tries really hard to like shut out the outside sort of noise, right? Like she keeps herself like in a bubble kind of thing that just keeps everything happy and zen-like and vibey and like good for her, right? And hey, kudos to her, because she can do that. I got the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So it's upset, the whole thing. She's not going to take this easily. She's not going to take it lightly. She's not going to be like, oh yeah, brother, come. No, like, no, no, that's not going to happen. But she has all the love in her heart. Like she wants this to be the way that we would all want it to be, right? She wants it to be the happy family, but it's like she, you know, what's that saying? Once bitten, twice shy. Like she knows better. So she is, you know, she's got her suit of armor on, and she's just kind of sort of backing off a little bit and being like, you know, la 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 la. Like, on the bottom of the deck, we got the Ten of Wands. So she is just not really here for it. And I got that same card again, movement. You know, but to me, in this case, this feels more like freedom, right? Like, I like being on the horse, and I like the wind in my hair, and I like to just, you know what I mean? I don't feel like I don't feel like she's going to be making any kind of, it feels like it's like going to be like a holiday thing, like a Christmas time, like almost like I'm not saying that Mariah Carey drinks, but it's almost like, if you can imagine, like, you know, you have a couple of drinks, it's like midnight on Christmas Eve, right? You're sitting there all alone, the sad songs are on, you look at a picture of your mom and your sister, and you're like, oh my God, my brother. And that's kind of like what happens.
She does drink, so it probably is going to happen.
But that's kind of how it feels.
Okay. Steven Velde. The Olympic, what is he? I forget. I didn't write it down. Is he not golf ball? What you call that other ball? The volleyball or something? He does one of them kind of ball things.
I mean, there's a few different balls. There's cricket. There's,
I don't know. He does one of them kind of balls.
Soccer, volleyball.
If y'all care of the details, you look at it.
Foot.
Steven Velde,
mm-hmm.
who was convicted of child rape, not molestation. For molestation, you have to have a certain age gap, and they both can't be minors, because if they're both minors, then it's not. No, it's not. What do you call everything? Yeah, molestation. You can't be charged with that, because it has to be an age gap. So he was charged with rape, and she was 12 and he was 17 or something like that.
Ew.
And he went to jail and got the Brock Turner, for those who remember that name. He got that kind of treatment. And he basically got out of jail in 8 minutes, and the whole thing was supposed to be in his past. And then he got to go to the Olympics. You had to be chosen for the Olympics. And they chose that guy. And he went and people threw the tomatoes and he started crying because why don't you like me type of thing. I hate to go in this direction, but I when I hear these kind of stories, as I'm not a traditional empath to where I don't walk in a room and feel people's energy and that type of thing, and it jumps on me and then blah, blah, blah. I am more of a global empath, if you will, like mankind. Why are you this way?
Right.
And so I look at things from like the eagle's eye view way up here, and I wonder what is going on with your soul, with your life, with your, what do you do now? Type of thing. And that's kind of where I want to go is what, even if we just want to do Oracle on this and no tarot, what does he do now? Does he keep trying to be a public figure? Because he's got kids and a whole wife and the whole family and all that stuff now. Like he's progressed in his life to a different direction. What does he do now? Does he continue to try to be a public figure? Or does he shy away from society because people don't like him? Like, what does he do now? What would the card say do?
Very interesting question.
Because you have the scarlet letter now. Well, not really, because that's when you were labeled a whore. Now he's a rapist.
Do you develop just a thicker skin and not give a crap what other people think? Or do you put your tail between your legs and skulk away, right? Or do you try to find some happy medium?
Well, I don't like how this starts already. So
excellent at the questions, Johnny. Excellent.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I got all the decks out tonight. I mean, not all of them literally, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out.
That's what I used to do too. I used to have 5 every single live stream. I like variety, as y'all know.
No, not you.
What I think.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm just like
I don't know how to say it without. So, okay, here's the thing. How it started. To where you see yourself. Mind you, he started crying because he didn't understand why you booed him. That's 100% that person.
Mm-hmm.
To where when you look in the mirror, you see something that everybody else does not see.
Yep.
And that's why I designed this card that way. When you look, you see something that you are not. And he didn't understand why people booed him. This card speaks of prayer. Things that you can use to connect, your rituals, your protections, your things of that nature. What he needs is a reality check because he lives in the alternate reality. I was thinking that this read was going to go in the form of advice, but it went in the form of telling me before you try to tell him what to do, he has to correct what he sees. And maybe that's the advice. Because who you see is not who we see. And that's why people booed you. And he thought that all was forgiven and all was forgotten. Alternate reality. You have to do some spiritual work. And a whole lot of it. But for now, that's what he needs to do is to pull back and try to, because for whatever reason, you keep putting off your mea culpa. You thought just because you got released from jail that all was done. No, that's not how redemption works when you're trying to be a public figure, because the public is going to always judge you for what you did, not for who you are. And so you have to correct a whole bunch of things before you step back out in the public sphere and say, hey, look at me. I'm a great volleyball, golf ball player, or whatever the hell you are. You got some work to do.
You've been a great ball player.
Whatever he plays.
It's interesting because to the point that you just made, I feel like we've done some work on ourselves, but because we feel okay, because we feel we've put in the work, we assumed that would show on the outside, and apparently either it hasn't shown or it's not sufficient, right? Because we all know the court of public opinion is it can be very harsh, and I think that he is shocked, like honestly shocked, that people don't see what you're saying. Like what he thinks he sees is not what other people are saying. So I've got wishing. I have to tell you, I'm surprised because I didn't think that I was going to feel this way. I almost could feel myself like getting like slightly choked up. Truly does not understand why it is the way that it is, which is very heartbreaking to me. He is committed to getting back to where he was, or where he thought he was, or where he thinks he deserves to be, right? And I've got clear-headed, and this scares me for him, because if he thinks that he is where he needs to be, now you're saying he needs to do some more work. Perhaps this is the reason why he's not seeing what everyone else is seeing, or there's some confusion as to what's being seen, is because he thinks that he's okay and he's not, which is very scary.
And see, there it is, Tammy. They don't. That's why that he thinks everything's okay on the world stage.
Okay.
And he didn't understand, because you have to be selected to be in the Olympics. It's not like he just got promoted because he did the best.
Right.
They picked him on purpose, because where he is, everything's fine. The rest of the world, not so much. And so he, I guess, was afforded a delusion by everybody else that it's all right. Nobody's going to care. No, a lot of people care. Yeah. And people don't just let things go. So, speaking of which, though, Sean Diddy Daddy Combs, feel free to not read on this because I'm about to skew the question. Okay.
I'm having
Sean Diddy Daddy Combs is being accused by a man named Lil Rod of rape, basically. And like I said this before, out of every single celebrity on the planet that I have ever heard of, I've heard more rumors about him than all of them. Any single one of them. I don't care what name you mention. I've heard more rumors about him than anybody. From the house parties to the rape to the abuse, and all of this stuff is starting to come out now. And we got videotape of the abuse. All of the people who said, I got into the industry and he made me do this and he made me do that. And he blew up somebody's car once, or had it blown up, I should say. And he's been that person, mind you. His father used to hang out with mobsters too, back in the day.
Interesting.
So again, I'm skewing this question because I'm assuming that he is guilty of a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm approaching the question from that standpoint.
Okay.
Will he ever get or will justice ever be served in this case or in any other cases involving him? Will he face the consequences for what he has done in this lifetime? Again, I'm assuming.
Someone was surprised.
You know, half the problem too is people in these situations, they have two courses of action that they can take. They can settle or continue to fight it and hope for a mistrial. He settles things because the person accusing him settles for that, because sometimes that's all they can get based upon the charges or the statutation and statutories and all that stuff. In these cases, though, I know certain states have extended the statute of limitations for sexual crimes and things of that nature. Can you prove any of that, though? Because all you have to say is, yes, he did, and all he have to say is, no, I didn't. You need something that can drive it home. And strings of witnesses may help, but it's still kind of hearsay sometimes. But if you're going to pay for anything, there's the lover's card. It's going to be something not romantic, sexual in nature or relationship-wise. But here, I do get the justice as the final card, but the Two of Swords says it's not everything. And the Oracle card says that he has an advantage. He gets lucky on some things. And so he skates away with quite a few things, but not everything, especially when it comes to what he did sexually to someone. And so that part he can face justice on. Other things he may skate on, like the human trafficking charge. That hasn't been charged to him. It's been charged to his son. So, well, his son got arrested, not necessarily been charged with human trafficking. I don't know just yet, but his son got arrested. People around him are going down, which is kind of the MO of prosecutors, and detectives to sort of circle the wagon. But he gets away with some things, but not everything. But he does have some sort of advantage.
Yeah, he does. I got the Seven of Wands, so, obviously, when you've got this news coming out and indictments and people investigating and, people being arrested, it's a challenging time. We've got the Page of Swords coming out. Then following that, we've got the Six of Wands. He strikes the deal with somebody, which I think is so whoever could do him the most damage is like who he strikes the deal with. And I mean, I didn't do an in-depth reading, so I don't know, but I feel like he thinks that this is his out, or it lessens the trouble, if that even makes sense, right? Then because we've got the King of Pentacles, so he's like, okay, I'm good. We've got the Six of Swords on the bottom of the deck, but then right below that is the Moon card. So, everything is not as it seems, and as we all know, he doesn't know what they have, right? He only knows what he's being told. We don't know what they have. I mean, other than what we've been told. So I think it's a little too soon to like, be like, woohoo, taking your check to the bank and cashing it. Do you know what I mean?
He does. He's got dirt on a lot of people because he was responsible for half of their careers too. And he did, well, I wouldn't say definitively he tried to have her house burned down, but yes, I heard that too. And so people are legit actually afraid of him too. And they're kind of hoping that this power in numbers thing is what's going to actually work. But it's one thing to go to prosecutors or the police or the FBI, Homeland Security, which is who raided his house. It's one thing to go and give them information so that they can build a case for something bigger or something different down the line. And it's another thing to go to them. He finds out you went to them, but they offer you no protection.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of another rapper, our last one. Ice Cube. First of all, let me say this. When it comes to voting, go do it. Especially if you are a person of color. A lot of people died for you to be able to do that. And so honor that and go do it. But I do understand the sentiment that he expressed because I have lived around and enough poor people to understand the mentality of nothing in my life changes no matter who sits in the White House.
Right.
I was poor under Bush. I was poor under Clinton. I was poor under Obama. I was poor under Trump. I'm poor under Biden. I'll be poor under Harris. I'll be poor under Walz. I'll be poor under all of them. So if I go and vote, what changes? What happens in my life? How does it improve? Da, 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 da. Now, there's a whole list of accomplishments of Joe Biden in his presidency, a whole list of accomplishments of Barack Obama in his presidency. And people are not looking at that because when I turn on my light, does it come on? Mm-hmm. Is my bill paid? Does my refrigerator have food in it?
Yeah.
Can I afford school clothes? It's back to school season right now. Can I afford things? Can I live day to day? So I get the sentiment of, I don't care who sits in the White House. They do nothing for me.
Right.
At the same time, when you don't participate, that's how nothing changes. When you, and I've been around enough of this to know, when you complain about such and such didn't get a fair trial, okay, where is the jury pool coming from? Sometimes you get selected because you're registered to vote from somewhere, and that's how they find your name. You don't vote for your sheriff because you didn't care, but your sheriff is an elected official too. Mm-hmm. You didn't vote for your district judges, even though that's an elected official too, and that's the person that you go see whenever you're in trouble. So when you don't participate, you don't get to say, when I was in, Florida, Mississippi, one of the judges, there was 114 person turnout for voting. A county of however many people, it was more than 114 people, but only 114 people voted. And so if you don't participate, you don't get a say. Even if the person you voted for lost, you don't get a say at all. And so if you don't want to vote for Kamala Harris, I understand, because again, what in your life changes, but nothing in your life changes is how you feel. No, that's not true. Donald Trump changed a whole bunch of stuff for you, whether you noticed it or not. Not to mention he almost ended the world. Okay. So yes, things do have a consequence when you do not engage. And so Ice Cube has come out and said these sentiments to specifically Black people. Stop voting, don't vote, don't get engaged, because nothing ever changes for you. Democrats specifically do not do anything for you. They don't make promises to you and then keep them. They don't do anything for you. Don't walk out and give them your vote because you don't matter to them and so forth and so on. I get that sentiment too. But again, If they don't engage, nothing changes except the stuff for the worse. And so he also is a Donald Trump-ish supporter because he donated, because apparently him and Snoop Dogg and a couple others, they don't want their taxes to go up under Democrats. And so they're voting for the Republican. But don't then tell me after you just supported a political candidate to not vote. Because now that sounds shady. Because you're involved in the process, but you don't want me to be. Because it's more of me than it is of you. And that's why. There's not that many millionaire rappers versus there is regular people.
Right.
And so, mind you, who was it, Lil Wayne, who donated to Donald Trump so they can get a pardon. So they all are sort of in that circle of, I need something from him, so I'm going to support him. And then Ice Cube turns around and tells everyday Black people, don't vote. That way Kamala Harris gets less numbers than Donald Trump. So what I want to know is he making a concerted effort of voter suppression, or is this just how he feels?
Because it's different here in Canada than it is in the States. In terms of, like, you guys elect sheriffs and judges and all of that. Do you think that there's too much emphasis put on, like, the top of the ticket as opposed to, like, all the way down the ticket?
100%.
And that people don't, which, like, I don't know how or why you don't, but it seems to me that people don't have a good understanding that it's not just at the top. It's like,
because the top of the ticket is nationally publicized, right. And our senators and congressmen go door to door, or people who canvass for them.
Right.
They're not on TV every 10 seconds. You don't see the senator from all 50 states on MSNBC and Fox News. Right. Doing their pitch. You only get certain ones, or the ones they want to be the celebrity for this month type of thing. Mm-hmm. So our local elections get very, very low voter turnout, especially during the midterms when it's the most important, because it's not publicized. It's not bright and shiny. You know, you don't have Beyonce coming out for every single candidate. You don't have Taylor Swift talking about the person who's running for House seat 31 in District 10 and all this. You don't have that.
Yeah.
And so our down ticket suffers a lot because there's no publicity for it.
Right. Like what Chris Wicken said in the chat there. So in Canada, every citizen can only donate $1,500 provincially and federally. Elections only last 6 weeks. Big money is not in our elections. So it's always very foreign to me that people have this opinion. Not that we don't have that opinion in Canada, like, you know, my vote doesn't matter. But it seems different somehow to me.
It is different. Very different. Because the agenda is different.
Wow.
A lot of people are not running for government, they're running for power.
Yes.
They don't want to govern. They just, like a Jim Jordan type thing. They have no interest in governing. So is he voter suppressing?
I think that's a thing, you know, like anyone here in chat or yourself, Johnny, wants to get elected to Congress or wants to take up a job in politics. Y'all need to stop electing those people, like the judges and, you know, the sheriffs and such, because those positions should not be controlled by money. Those or by politicians or whoever is, you know, at the top of the ticket. Just do the job that you were hired to do. No different than, you know, a school teacher or a nurse does.
Take what I say with a grain of salt. Hashtag grain of salt, because I may be a bit salty in this in particular instance, because how dare you. So I could be skewing things. Okay, so keep that in mind. But there he is, King of Wands, and Seven of Pentacles is voting for me, something you invest time in. Then there's the Devil. So is he voter suppressing? I think so. Because Six of Pentacles, the thing that you give out, and then there's the exposure with the sun. Yes, I think he is absolutely 100% voter suppressing. But again, grain of salt. I could just be being that person. The Oracle card says gossip, though, in social media, and that's where he is spreading this message. And so, if you ask me, his agenda is voter suppression. So he is not telling people to be more empowered. He is not telling Black people to be more engaged in your political system. He is not telling Black people to demand more from Joe Biden. He's saying don't vote at all.
Yeah.
Something's wrong there. But
yeah. I got clear-headed. Again, a different clear-headed out of the same deck. I think he's fully aware of what he's doing, which is just like that makes it gross. I've got the Knight of Wands, but in the reverse. I don't ever read reversals, and I'm having all kinds of them, so you know you got to go with it. As my first card out, I don't know that he started out doing it intentionally. It just in my cards, it feels like there's an element of like, ooh, I'm getting noticed again. People are talking about me.
But he said it before.
Right. Got the Ace of Wands. It's sort of like, feels like it sort of took on a life of its own. And he's sort of running to catch up to it. You know, like if you put the car in park and you go to get out and it starts rolling down the driveway and you're trying to like chase after it, that's kind of the feeling that I have, which is bizarre, I realize. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. So, you know, to your point about the riches, like keep my money. I feel with the world like he's really trying to go somewhere with this. He's trying to make a voice for himself. I don't even want to say what I feel, but like next time around, next election, he'll be running. And then I got the Sun card on the bottom of the deck, and below that I've got the Nine of Cups. So like he believes it. He truly believes like in what he's talking about is the way it is.
Madness. Well, that was our last one. However, we're not going to end on an ugly note. So we're going to pull one card for the collective. All 300 of you watching, thank you very much for coming out and joining us in our gossip town. Thank you, Kelly, for joining me too.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So one card, or however many cards you want, for the collective watching. Thank y'all. This Sunday we will be on Jen Lynn Tarrett's channel. Wait a minute.
I have to stand up. Sorry, everybody. And if you're checking, I'm not wearing my pajamas. I have pants on and everything. Woohoo.
YouTubers do not wear pants. Let's see. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, there we go. So one card for the collective, and that's what I was looking for. So 9-9, which is in 3 days. Kelly's going live, so make sure you go and subscribe and all that YouTube stuff. Click the notification, that way it pops up. And go check out Beneficial Tarot too. Again, like I said, he's just starting his channel over again. He's got more tarot decks than I do. Can you believe? And so
he just sold like a ton of tarot decks.
Hey,
like,
really?
He had a spreadsheet.
He said that in one of his videos.
Right?
I need him to not sell them and be dedicated to the cause. That way I don't feel so bad. Okay. One card. Okay.
I shuffled and I got 2, so you know it is.
I'll pull 2 too.
So the deck that I pulled from, because you said we're leaving on a positive note, is this deck here. It's called the Cosmic Cat, because I'm dzncats. It seemed appropriate. So these are kind of funny, or supposedly, but they don't seem, the cards aren't funny tonight. Anyway, we've got reward. Keep your eye on the prize. So that seems fitting, sort of like we were talking about the political stuff, right? And talking about not paying attention to the whole ticket, right? Sort of getting sidelined by who's in the news or what they're talking about. And listen, you got to pay attention to what goes on in your own personal community, right? In your county, in your township, in your city, and use the power that you have. Because if you don't, you're definitely not going to affect change. But if you do, you have an opportunity or a possibility of affecting change, right? Or bringing about change. And then we got secrets. It's such a bad look. And it says, let the cat out of the bag. Which is kind of what we did with these readings. We let the cat out of the bag. So that's what I got. Now, what that means for the collective,
Take away what you can.
Basically, don't record anybody because it may come back to bite you. That's what that is. No. It feels like do unto others. That's what it feels like. Do unto others.
Especially right now in the shadow of retrograde and all that too. So
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I interrupted you, ma'am.
Well, all right.
Prepared, planning, organized, careful. It is always nice to be careful. It is always nice to be organized. However, the second card says controlling, demanding, rigid power struggle. What is it you won't let go, and why won't you let it go? Everything does not have to be perfect. Everything does not always go as you planned it, because you can make all the lists in the world, and then life says, oh, that's cute, you made a list. Guess what's about to happen? Everything except that. So make sure you know how to be a little flexible and how you know how to let things go when they're just not working, no matter how hard you plan. Sometimes life says, just go with it. And there's a reason you have to just go with that too. Because there's something coming along that is a blessing to you or a lesson to you that does not go in with your list and your rigidness. And if you just stick to the plan, you miss this thing over here. That's the thing that edifies you. That's the thing that helps you grow. If you just stick to that, you miss all of this over here. So sometimes life just says, you know what, push that to the side for right now. Don't be so rigid. Take the blessing that is coming instead of the one that you planned for.
I say all the time on my channel to imagine yourself, for those of us that are old enough to remember the old bumper cars when you used to go to the fairs or the carnivals in your neighborhood? And those bumper cars have that big rubber band around them, right? So that when you smash into the other one, you don't, get like whiplash and all sorts. And so I say oftentimes to imagine yourself, with that rubber band around you, so that if you meet an obstacle, if you meet a challenge, that you feel like you have the ability to sort of bounce back from it, right? Because we all know this as human beings. We know that the plan that we have set for ourselves is not etched in stone, and that we have to be open to the journey, right? It's not just about the destination, it's about the journey, right? The road there. But most of the time we've made up that destination, right? We've created, I want to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. I've made that timeline. That's not actual time. It's in my head. And if I don't meet that timeline that I have made up for myself, I've set myself up for failure, number one, and then I sabotage myself because I'm a failure. If I had have left all of the time out of there and just said, I want to be more healthy, and wouldn't it be great if I could lose some weight while I was trying to be more healthy? I would have been able to enjoy the journey. to the destination. And when I got to wherever I felt good about myself again, that's an amazing feeling, right? But we get
Nine of Cups and Nine of Pentacles come to mind when you say that.
Yeah.
Nine of Cups is everything you wish for. Nine of Pentacles is everything you worked for.
Yeah.
And so you got to have a different kind of vision, because the Nine of Pentacles is you can sustain that because you've built it and it has a strong foundation. The Nine of Cups you got overnight because it's just your wishes, it's your desires, it's just the stuff you wanted, the 20 pounds, but now that you've lost it for whatever means, what usually happens? You put 25 back on.
Right.
Instead of being the healthy life, that way you have something sustained. And then when you got to that destination, you now have a ritual, not a ritual, but a routine that will sustain that.
That's it. That's the ticket.
100%.
I really believe that is the ticket. Is for those of you that don't know, I have anxiety panic disorder, and routine is like my best friend. If I can do things daily, whether it be 2 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever, it becomes my normal. When I have to rush around or things are out of order, then I feel out of order, if that makes sense, right? My brain seems like it's not functioning properly. And so just doing these things and incorporating them into a daily routine just helps me to function and feel like there's no like no one's pressed my panic button. Do you know what I'm saying? It's very easy to flow through the day, and it's so easy to create a routine for yourself. Sometimes making the commitment is hard to do, but baby steps, as I always say on my channel, and everybody that follows me knows, right? Even if you feel that you took 2 steps forward and 1 step backward, a step is still a step, and a step is growth because you took the step. You can't take it away from yourself, right? You can't. And if you find that you are, that's when you need to sort of step back and say, okay, what can I do differently to bring some more positivity to this, right? How can I change my wording? How can I change my viewpoint? How can I change my feeling? And I try really hard to do that, and routine was a great way for me to incorporate that into my everyday life. And I sit here now. Yes, I've had anxiety panic disorder for 14 years now. Diagnosed for 12 and a half. I used to have 5 to 6 panic attacks a day. I haven't had a panic attack since 2014, double knock wood. And I'm good. I'm good. It's been a lot of hard work, and most of it has come from the tarot world. I have to be honest, right? Being a part of this community, most of my resources and my help and my assistance and my love and my support has come from people within this community. And routine has been one of the top things that I have sort of taken away from different people that I listen to or whatever, that has helped me just sort of feel more normal.
Mm-hmm.
So routine is important.
It is.
The end of my PSA. Thank you. No.
But somebody needed to hear it, I guarantee you. Because there's no unique person on Earth. Well, I shouldn't say that. No completely unique experience on Earth. There's similarity through something and for someone. Even if it's not completely the same, there's a similarity there.
When I decided to start my channel, I did not. It was almost 3 years ago, if you can believe that now. In November the 7th, which is my mom's birthday, was the day I started my channel, 2021. So I am approaching my 3rd channel anniversary year, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, you.
I did not own a tarot deck. I did not own an oracle deck. I did not know how to read tarot. But I was part of this community because, as I just finished saying, being part of the chat and going to the different rooms and getting readings, feeling the love and the support from the people in the chat, gave me hope and a reason to smile and things to look forward to. And I wanted to start my channel because I wanted to be the voice, right? And not saying that my voice was the only one I wanted people to hear, but I wanted to take the blame and shame out of saying I have a mental health disorder and it's okay. And while you're on your path to finding out what is okay for you or how you navigate to get to okay, if you needed someone, to listen to, a shoulder, an ear, whatever, I wanted to participate and be part of that. And it's given me back so many things. If it makes sense to say, and it doesn't sound bad, that are far superior to just like feeling joy overall and the blessings and the gratitude. Like, I believe in myself.
9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. One is an instant and one is long lasting. It's like it has a different kind of effect.
Yeah. Like, I trust myself again, and I believe in myself, and I have my confidence back a little bit. And those are things that, I'm like 59 years old and I'm just getting my self-confidence back. I'm just believing in myself again. And so this, what we do here is really important for so many reasons. It's not just about reading on gossip, which is fun. And it's not just reading on politics, which seems, not fun, but necessary. But what we do here, we share this time together and this energy and this vibe, and it's a feeling, and it can be amazing. And it's kind of like tying it into what we were saying before about, the voter suppression and just focusing on the top of the ticket, or seeing that for the other side. And that is using your voice to enact or to initiate change, to initiate, a different direction, right? Like, you can't have a different direction unless you don't say anything. You know what I mean? You have to do something to bring that to fruition, right? And I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is that I may not be the best reader on the planet, right? I may not, always say the right thing. I may not always do the right thing, but being a part of this whole community and this whole sort of machine, while people have navigated these really traumatic years of the pandemic and the politics, the two P's, it's been a distinct honor to play some small part in it. And I did a private reading last night. It was a free reading that I had given away on my birthday. And I was saying to the person that I get to sit here, and I know that Johnny experiences this too, but I'm not speaking for you. I'm just saying, to sit here and to watch someone say in the chat, like, I've had a bad day, and then someone else says, oh, I'm really sorry you've had a bad day. And then you see them sort of like start talking back and forth to each other. And then other people saying, I'm really sorry, and I hope you feel better, or whatever. That is such a beautiful thing to sit here and to witness, to be a part of, right? I cannot believe that for whatever reason, someone decided that I get to be a part of that, because it's a breathtaking experience to watch that love and that energy flow. Like, I feel really privileged to be a part of that. And then when it then comes back up to me, right, because someone asks a question or whatever, or we're talking and we're going back and forth, it's such an amazing, beautiful thing. And I can't imagine not doing this. Whereas if you had have asked me 3 years ago, no, not in my wheelhouse.
Evolution.
But, what's that?
Evolution. It has to build. It's a muscle, and confidence is too. It's not a thing. Only Leos think they know everything. But sometimes when the mane is trim or the hair is falling out, you
Yeah.
have to realize that you really didn't need all of it. The courage was inside, not the outside. And so it just had to dig it back out again.
Yeah.
That's all.
I guess really where I was going with all of that was just to say, you know, that whether you read on politics, whether you read on gossip, whether you're reading on, you know, tarot scopes, you know, your zodiac signs, you know, or full moons or whatever you're doing, it takes a certain kind of like magic sort of almost to make all of it work. And it is a beautiful thing to be a part of. And when the energy is being exchanged between all of the people, if you allow yourself to just sort of sit back just for a second and just really like embrace that, hold on to it, it feels absolutely amazing. I literally feel like a rock star. Like I get like up from the energy that when I'm finished the stream, I'm like, woohoo, okay, what can I do now? I feel so alive, you know what I mean?
Your connection to, especially when you start to read, for those who read or who want to read, it does amp you up, because you kind of have to be, because you have to physically, not physically, but you have to raise your vibration to meet. And so it does give you a whole lot of energy when you do read. Something I want y'all to do.
I'm a Leo, actually, Chris, but my birthday is August the 11th. Thank you, JR.
Before we go, I put it in the chat already. So Kelly has a channel, as I just said. There's the name right there, dzncats Wellness Tarot. I believe it has been put in the chat. And this is the channel for Ben as well. I want, you don't have to, but I'm going to make the request anyway.
Okay.
Go to their channel, pick one video if you want, and leave a comment on it. Put some hearts or some smiley faces. Don't say nothing crazy. I will find you. There are a handful of people in the tarot world that I actually care about, so don't go saying nothing nasty. Okay. But go and put a comment on their one video, two, I don't care how many, but find a video and just put a comment of some sort, because it helps the channel when you comment on a video. So just go do that again. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. Just put a star or a heart or something there.
What kind of advice is that?
I'm not telling people to sit there and suffer through one of your videos.
I'm just kidding.
But there's a lot of stuff over there that you're not going to find over here, because, you know, I don't care about y'all like that sometimes.
That is not true. That is not true.
No, it will never be. I was put on this planet for other people. So go over there and make a comment of some sort. Be happy, be merry, be joyful, and that type of thing. And we will see y'all whenever. This was kind of spare of the moment too. So we'll see y'all whenever. I'll see y'all Sunday.
Yeah.
So we can talk about all the nastiness. So
thanks, everybody. Thanks, Johnny, for having me.
Thank you for showing up.
Of course.